But it's amazing how good that's looking. And then this is the scar that still needs the most amount of work. And then this is this is where the screws are on the knee.
Mm.
Wow.
So I just had my 6 week checkup and I've been cleared to swim. I'm so excited about that. I could get back in the pool and that means I can also soak in the tub, which I haven't been able to do. And so I'm just building strength one day at a time.
Okay, thank you. Let me talk to the thing. Okay, cool.
Showing your scars, it gives me flashbacks to the movie Jaws where they're comparing their scars.
I don't remember that in the movie. That's funny.
By the time this court, I'm sure you have quite the inbox full of mail from all of the lawyers willing to represent you.
No, my email, I guess, isn't out there very much. I interviewed 11 attorneys and I chose one, but nobody has called me unsolicited.
Really?
In Ohio, they get the accident report off of the thing like every day, and you get a whole bunch of stuff in the mail. I don't know what it's like here because I haven't been in that situation, but yeah, in Ohio, you stub your toe and you got lawyers that are finding out about it and sending
No,
you.
didn't have any of that.
I love them though. It's a guarantee. We guarantee that if you don't get paid, we don't get paid. Well, no crap.
Yeah.
That's what a consignment lawyer is, or whatever they call them.
Well, I think in New York,
Contingency lawyer.
the attorneys want multi-million-dollar payouts, and they know if you're involved with a taxi, the liability limit's 100 grand. So they probably don't want to mess with it.
Really? That's it?
That's the real crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a photographer in New York, I have to have a $2 million policy.
Well, what you should do is do it from a taxi. Do your photography from a taxi. Then you don't need 100.
There's a guy who did that. I was actually in his cab once, and when we came to like a stoplight, he was shooting with the point and shoot out the window. And he said that he was going to put a book together, and he did.
Wow.
There was a taxi driver who photographed all the people that his taxi that he would let him, and did a little short interview. He did a book that was pretty cool.
I didn't see that one.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, he had to ask first, and then he, just asked him a question. I think they asked the same. I think it was back in the late 70s, early 80s, but he asked the same question, if I remember right. It was the same question, like, why do you like to live in New York? Or, what's your favorite museum? Or where do I get good pizza? So anyway, today's little discussion is about library shoots, because one of our photographers was asked to do a library shoot and he was a little uncertain how to bill it. So I put together things to consider before you bill a library shoot. Their statement to him was, it'll only take 2 hours and we need 50 images or 100 images. Give us a price on both. Of course, nothing takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
Literally nothing takes 2 hours.
All the food would be cooked and ready to go in 2 hours.
Either 5 or 7 models. The company wasn't sure yet. 5 or 7 talent, lifestyle shoot.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to spend at least an hour pre-walking the area where you're going to shoot. At least, even if you don't take the time to go, 2 days before to scout it out, which I would do. And I would say, look, I got a 2-hour scout thing here. I got to make sure everything's right. You can't just show up somewhere with 5 people and start making pictures. Now, Amy lives in New Jersey. What's the first thing you think about in New York and New Jersey?
Traffic?
Traffic.
Close. You've got, as I said, 5 to 7 models, an art director, an assistant art director, wardrobe person, a stylist, a makeup artist, yourself, and an assistant. Where the hell are you going to park?
Getting a large enough studio. Yeah.
I mean, parking would be like, if you ask New York photographers, they'll tell you New York photography is a logistics program. It's challenging. Your shoot isn't a walk-up. Okay, it's 3 floors up. You've got enough equipment to choke a horse. If you leave it down there while you hike half of it up, it won't be there when you get back down. So you automatically have to hire an assistant to watch your gear as you or your assistant is hiking it upstairs. So, and then you've got the tear down. And then absolutely, if you have 5 models, you're never going to get 50 shots in 2 hours. You
No.
could get, well, I should say this, you're never going to get 50 good shots in 2 hours because the
Right.
client has something there that's in their head. You've got something in your head. The art director has something in their head. And then you've got 5 or 7 other people who have something in their head too. And you've got to wrangle all that out and finish it off. So I said, you've got to at least bill a half a day. So the way we came up with it was a half day. So I use numbers here, 2,000 to 3,500, because I imagine that most of any place where you guys live, that's pretty close to half day rates, pretty close. You might be a little cheaper in Maine, you might be a little more in New York, but you know it's going to be fairly close. And then you got to keep in mind those per images. So I say $100 to $250 per image on top of your day rate, your half day rate, because it's a library shoot. What are they getting? They're getting full rights. A library shoot means they can put it on social media, they can put it in an ad, they can put it on TV, anything. So you've got to be at least, I would say maybe $100 per image for 2 years and a $250 image for you own them. Have fun. That's not a lot of money for a company willing to wanting to get the word out on their product. It's just not that much money when you add it all together. What, $7,000 for 50 images? And you don't quote on 100 images. You just say, hey, it's my day rate here. This is the rate, and it's $100 an image. You want 50? There you go. You want 75? There you go. You want 100? There you go. I'll give you 10% off if you buy 100 images. You can always incentivize.
Yeah.
But these kinds of shoots are happening more and more. Amy, have you been asked to do a library shoot?
No, I haven't.
You will.
Mhm.
You will. All right.
Please, not with that many models.
Oh man, you know, um, sometimes sometimes you might consider hiring a producer for a shoot like this
Yeah.
and billing that to a client. A producer knows how to wrangle the hairstylists and the makeup artists and the models and to get everybody on the same page and becomes your liaison for putting the shoot together because so that you can just concentrate on the job at hand. It can be really, really tough. 2 hours. Come on. Oh wow. So I gave him what I thought he should do, whether he does it or not, that's up to him, but sometimes you just wonder what these people are looking for. Are they looking for like a flat rate of $500 or $1,000? They're looking for a professional thing. Whenever I'm involved in bidding, I always, give the caveat out that, we may be overshooting the hoop by, quite a bit here. But if you're asking my opinion based on what I see out there, we're not only in the ballpark, but we're competitive as hell with this rate. So I hope he gets it. I hope he gets it. He did ask me how to light it, to which I responded with 4 question marks. You go in the shade, get in the shade and put up some white cards. That's how you light a lifestyle shoot in the middle of summer. You're not going to be out there in 2 hours or 3 hours. You're not going to be lighting everybody with strobes and stuff because you do not have the time. So, all right. Any questions about that? Okay. We have some shots here by Joe, who was goofing around and shooting his soaps and things, but he also shot this rubber thing, which is actually probably harder to shoot than the lovely yellow bacterial soap with the foam, which looks kind of cool. That's a black spongy thing, and yet he got detail out of all of it. You gotta say good on that.
If I wanted to order one, do I look up black spongy thing?
I have no idea what this is. In fact, Joe admitted that he had no idea what this thing was. But he did that, and then this thing, which he put on here to show us how little it is. And I would love to have one of these things about maybe 1.5 feet tall, because that'd make a beautiful planner, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just
Probably an inch and a half.
yeah, and look at how well look at this. You see the bevel? It's got a bevel on it, right on the inside here. It's beveled down. It's really interesting, but it's some sort of thing. So
You're right, though. It could be a nice little fountain or a
oh yeah, you could
planter
put yeah.
or
Yep. And then Don, you went to the Eden Center. Where is that?
yeah, it's in Arlington County, Fairfax, and it's a Vietnamese community business center. And I was asked by the magazine to go find something that represents the vibrancy and richness of the community, but it can only be one image because they're doing the big picture edition again. If you remember, I had that mushroom one that filled more than a page. They want one picture that fills more than a page, and yet it's it's full of 200 businesses and a bunch of people milling around. So how do you do that? So these are the ones that I ended up making and offering to them, and they did just moments ago pick one. So I'll tell you which one afterwards, or you can guess. But this is a grocery store, and with a very active seafood market. So this was what I thought was my best chance of showing a lot of activity and showing a little bit about how their market is a little different than the typical Safeway. And so I found that being at one end of the thing, I could do the most, fit the most storylines in.
Yes, Safeway doesn't have soup cooking here.
Many of those
do
are
have a
alive
wing
at the
bar.
moment, or were alive at that moment too. So yeah, no, it's not the same.
Yeah.
that baby's alive.
Did you ever think about how many people died before they figured out they had to kill the lobster? I mean, they had to cook the lobster alive,
No, but
I mean, think about it. It's like, well, let's try cooking it over wood. Well, Charlie's dead. Well, that didn't work. Let's try stabbing it in the eyes. Oh, Bill's dead. That didn't work. A bunch of dead cavemen around go, let's try boiling it alive. Oh, come on, Fred. That's stupid.
I'm thinking they went with nibbles at first.
Maybe.
And just got sick, but when they were trying new stuff.
It's like smoking. Somewhere in our past, a bunch of guys had to be sitting around going, what do you want to do? I don't know. And then one guy said, hey, let's go get a bunch of leaves, set them on fire, and suck the smoke into our lungs. And 3 other guys had to go, dude, that's good. I mean, it just isn't. I don't get the origin of it. I like your color. How did you get your color balance?
By feel afterwards, because the lighting is, as you might guess, really unpleasant.
All over the place?
It's a lot of different artificial light, and that's very unevenly lit. So I darkened the salmon, which is the brighter pink section back there. I darkened that a little bit. Depending on what part of it was lit, I changed the color profile, of the image, because it is still sort of, I don't like the way that one's processed right now, but if I was gonna, if they picked it, I would brighten him up more. The red and the yellow and everything. But this is closer to what the natural light is that I just picked up, except for again the salmon I darkened. And I did a little more color correction here because there's more skin tone to try and worry about and
Okay.
try and deal with. So that I just eyeballed what looked like a comfortable color palette for her skin and his.
This is the one they picked.
How do you know?
I'm just saying that's the one I would have picked.
That's the one they picked.
Got the interaction, got the store.
Yeah. And it's going to be a
got the rack
two-page
of
spread.
food.
So the fold will be, it looks like the fold might be pretty close to the fish, but
Well,
then
they'll
they're-
adjust it. They'll adjust it.
no, they gave me
anyway.
a layout already. They just moments ago they sent me the layout. So
Yeah.
they're only cropping a little. Actually, this one that I gave you is cropped. I sent them the whole thing. So this is not far off from what they're going to use.
They're gonna crop this handout over here, are they?
No, actually, the one I gave them has more stuff on either side. The one
Okay.
I uploaded here is more what I imagined they would do, but the raw image has, more workers on the right. It has the whole woman on the left. It has more ceiling, all sort of wasted stuff, but that I knew they would need to be able to format. So this crop that you're looking at is what I thought they might do with it to get the chaff out. It's not very far off from what they're going to do.
Yeah, cool. It's a nice shot. I love it. The
Yeah, thanks.
interaction is great.
Yeah, I think I'll, before I send them the final one, again, brighten him up a little bit. He's a little flat, the employee.
See, my art director brain is coming out. I would dampen that down, take that
Mhm.
down a little bit. I would brighten this up.
Mhm.
So plus over here, I'd brighten up his face, brighten up his hand. I would darken around the fish so that the fish pops out, and I would open up the fish.
Mhm.
Probably diminish this a little bit darker so that she pops out. I'd bring this blue out here. I'd bring her hair out, and I'd dampen this down just a little bit.
Yeah, so it's
Um,
not getting so much attention.
It's not pulling us from her. I probably would take out the hands, leave this
Sh-
card
sh-
in, but I'd take
Yeah.
out those hands because they're
They're
confusing.
actually gonna, in their version, they're gonna include that woman's entire body. So
okay. Well, in that case, that's fine.
in that
Yeah,
case,
I'm only going off
dehanding
what
her
I
would,
have here. Yeah.
but I'm making notes of your,
I'd
yeah, and I'd
open
brighten
this-
up the yellow and the
Brighten
red.
that up because we got this nice yellow down here and we got some yellows over here. Are these gloved hands or just something gloves?
They're gloves. The way they slip their hands in and out of them as they use them.
Got it. Okay. And then I would probably vignette this down here down about 10%.
Yeah.
Just to make it a little bit darker to pull our eyes up. But all of this looks great. This is a really good shot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nicely done, sir.
Thanks.
That's fun
And-
too. I like that one.
Yeah, I wanted to give more than one option to them, but it was a challenge. It was Labor Day, and there were lots. I got to these people before in a gap between all of their clients and everything else. The one thing this has going for it, besides being cheery and a lot of stuff, is that little display indicates that it's Autumn Festival right now. So that's what the True Trung, in the computer monitor next to the guy with the date. So it gives you a sense of place that they could talk about and say, well, this is one of the biggest festivals there is for last some month, based on the lunar calendar, and it's essentially their harvest season celebration. So there are a lot of things for sale and a lot of things going on that celebrate that. And, it was a rotating display, so I had to wait, try and
Should
get
make
them looking good while it happened. And
This would make a really nice series. The store owners in front of their.
oh, if they wanted to, yeah, I will tell you that many of the owners don't want to play. This is an exception. No picture, no picture.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I said, hey, look, I'm here for Arlington Magazine. No. So
Yeah, I
if
remember
if I got to know them, it might be different. But,
we were in Oatman, Arizona, which is like a little tourist stop on Old Highway 66 up in the mountains on the
Mm.
west side of Arizona. And
mhm.
there was a guy there who was doing leathercraft, and he was threatening, "Don't take pictures, don't." I'm like thinking, you could probably sell this online for 10 times what you're selling it for here, but you're an idiot.
Well,
I'm not going to explain
and I
it to you.
said, I'm here representing Arlington Magazine. If this piece gets put in, your business will be promoted. But not trusting, or just not how they do things, or both. So this particular owner will be disappointed that they didn't select it, but
Yeah, well, nice.
I'll still share it with
This
them.
is a great shot for your portfolio for sure.
Oh, thank you.
I love this.
I would center them a little bit. I would crop it, but I didn't for this.
No. Mm-mm.
No,
Just how it is.
They're just perfect. You're just a little off center, and then you got all these show all the bakery goods or whatever that is over there. That's really great. They got all this stuff up on the wall. See,
oh, I was just gonna
in-
trim a little bit on the right, just a little bit.
maybe. I always have this view in my head of this, stark sort of Swedish style office, the white desk and a wall and one little plant on the corner. This is how my office always ends up, because I capture things, and I'm going to use that someday, and I'll stick it there. So yeah, I love this. This is great. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
That is no
And-
longer me.
No, that was Derek.
It could have been me.
This-
I was looking for shots like that of the grocery that would be where I could get down low and do something that looked good for the same project, but there wasn't anything that looked good like this. I mean, I like his shot. I looked for one of myself and then couldn't find it.
It's this store here. It's like a Costco something, but it's not a Costco. It's its own little store. But I remarked to my wife, showed my wife last night. I said, I look at this now, and I've really gotten into looking at what I eat,
Mhm.
trying to and I go, wow, look, a pesticide store.
Yeah.
Like
This
there's
is
nothing
the
here that
stay
you want to
away
put
from
in
this
there.
aisle.
Nothing in here you want to put in your body. Trust me on that. Did you know they put corn syrup in instant coffee? But anyway, lovely shot. I think the colors and everything up against the gray, I think it's really cool. And then you did a shot of the outside of this thing. That's a big store.
Mhm.
And this piece of wood, which was really cool. Loved it. And a bug, because it's Derek. And he shoots bugs. Look at the tack sharp face here.
Yeah.
Absolutely tack sharp. And an upscale area of Little Rock where it's becoming impossible. The homes here start at over $1.5 million. People having to move out because of the property tax. So, hey, This is cool, Amy. What did you
Hey.
do here?
So, this whole series that I dropped, it's because I identified a hole in my product portfolio, texture. Basically, I had
Hmm.
been shooting the product and maybe some of it out of, its packaging or whatever, but I wasn't getting close-up shots of texture. So I started planning this, and at the same time, someone on one of my local Facebook moms groups was looking for a product photographer. Of course, they had no money, but I was like, well, you know what? Give me product. I will shoot some fun photos for you, not like the difficult product photos, which aren't, worth the time. But I wanted stuff I could put in my portfolio. So she was happy with that, gave me the product. So this is tallow whip, she calls it. It's a moisturizing cream. And I was
Mm.
just playing around with, seeing what kind of textures I could get from it. And I thought this looked about the best. It's in consistency, it's kind of like a whipped Crisco almost. So it's very oily and, um, doesn't doesn't pool or anything, it's very stiff. So
What did you use to comb it?
a comb.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, very simple.
it's really cool.
It's
It's
Thanks.
really
really,
elegant.
I look at it and I go, I don't eat because I can't tell what it is, right?
Uh-huh.
I'd blow that thing up big, 2 foot by 3 foot, 4 foot by 6 foot, put a frame around it and call it golden.
Yeah.
It looks like a great piece of art, as do
Thanks.
several of your shots in here, this one
Thanks.
as well.
Yeah, so
Um,
these are some olive oil soaps, and again, they just had really nice texture. And one of them had that imprint up top, so I just played around with them, did quite a few different shots, like this one zoomed in.
It feels to me like the combed one that you did would fit in the series with your paper images, the Rima paper.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seems like it's different, obviously, because it's got texture, but it seems like, if you were to do a book that had 6 sections or whatever, has a certain number of sections, that you could do sections of those two as anchors for
Ah.
something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, really cool. Yeah, you got terrific portfolio shots from this.
Thanks. Yeah, so this was just a stack and the soap suds really, really well. So I wanted to highlight that. I didn't really edit it. You can see the reflector reflecting in the bubbles. So, if I actually decide to put this one in my portfolio, I'll edit it a bit more. So those highlights are just solid.
Really, really pretty.
Yeah, thanks. And then
Got a
even more
cookie?
texture. It's a loofah.
A lupa, yeah.
No, I mean, you
Yeah.
got a Cucaloris, a cookie
Oh,
on.
Googlers, yeah, I believe so. I shot it so many different ways. I think that's what this one was though. Or I might have just put a few things standing on the surface. The light was really low.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can see
cool.
all of the suds that came up from the soap.
Great texture lighting.
Yeah, these were really
Love that.
challenging. This is just a face oil. So I put it on glass and then this one I used a couple of gels and to light
Beautiful.
from below, and then I think I did a gradient map on top of it to really bring out the color in post.
That's fantastic.
Thanks.
How do you shape
And then,
the water?
well, it's an oil. I just put it on a sheet of glass and kind of traced it out.
Drizzled?
Yeah, the styling for this is really the hardest stuff for me because I'm just not used to doing it. So a lot of this is just me playing around. This one I had a gold card underneath and kind of flexed it here and there to catch the light differently, and then just adjusted color in post to get something totally different than the shot before.
Yeah,
That's
it's just,
fantastic.
they're just lovely shots. Lovely shots.
And then
This is as good as any Maybelline ad I've ever seen.
thanks. Yeah,
I
I
mean, it
have
really
a
is.
ton of old eyeshadows, so I just busted them out of the packaging and started playing. This is some really difficult styling, actually. So, I mean, this particular shot not so difficult, but you know, other styling with eyeshadows is pretty hard. So,
One of the things you have to remember, if you haven't shot this stuff, this is like a dusty oil.
yes.
It's grease, but it flies like dust until it lands on a lens or a camera body or whatever. And then you go to wipe off the dust and it smears. Oh, it's just evil
Always have
stuff.
alcohol wipes with me.
Yeah, it's just evil stuff. That's really beautiful.
Thanks. And then this one was, you know, the same three colors just smeared out. And then I put a little like crystal or something in front of the lens, sketch the light. So it looked a little like a light trail. And just a lot of experimenting.
Nice.
And then
I think they
the
repeated.
others are all duplicates, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. WordPress said they didn't upload, so I uploaded them a second
Oh.
time, and then
Okay.
voila, they were there. So cool. Beautiful work.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Thanks.
And Don, you're off to,
I'm still here for a little while. I'm going to be here for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll be gone for the following 3. I'm here until I'll be gone the 25th through October 9th. So
cool.
there will be more. I just got something today that is not maybe a great photograph, but maybe Mark will appreciate it. I was taking a picture of a couple of cormorants this morning that were off over the Potomac, and there was low fog, and I thought it was kind of a moody thing. And while I was doing it, only one picture really showed it, but a bass jumped out of the water that's almost as long as the cormorants are tall. So it's not, it's far away. You can probably tell what it is if you know that kind of thing, or maybe you need to be told. But hey, who gets a photograph of a fish jumping out of the water randomly in the middle of a river? So this is like the third time if I had been lucky, I could get one, right? Because nobody knows where they're going to pop up, and they typically only jump once. But hey, got one.
I don't know how many osprey you see down there during the summertime, but we're seeing less and less of them up here, so there might be some migrating back down south.
You can catch fish that you
The
can get the
osprey.
fish when the bird has caught them. Yeah, you can get an osprey with a fish. I can get birds with fish. I just haven't got a fish jumping all by itself. That's all.
Do you have osprey
Um,
down there during the summertime?
We do. I mean, we have some that are here all the time. The
Okay.
space that I'm in, the way they fish here is a dive bomb,
Yeah.
like a pelican would, kamikaze.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Well, sometimes you see people, and you got some really good ones. That looked like more it was skimming, but I guess maybe just the way it was coming out of the water,
That was
it
them
looked
coming
like,
up. Yeah.
yeah,
They hit it probably 30, 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour coming
yeah,
down. But I just didn't know
yeah.
if you had them down there during the summertime or not. We have less here, so they'll be making their migration south or
Okay.
wherever they go. There might be more than there typically is.
Yeah, it could be. It's my
Don, where are you going?
yeah. I'm going to Spain and Portugal.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wonderful.
Yeah, and I realized, it's not in our itinerary to get out to who's out there. Our photographer friend, she just posted the story she wrote on the deep sea photographer.
Carmen?
Alex?
No, Alex. Alex
Wow.
lives in Valencia, but
Yeah.
I'm not headed to Valencia. otherwise it would be great to meet her. I've only met her on these Zoom calls. I haven't actually, met her in person. It would be great to do that. I don't think I can based on the itinerary we put together.
Where are you
Because
going?
we're going for a day and a half in Madrid, and the rest is Barcelona. So,
I was in
I mean, it's
Barcelona
3.
last year.
Oh, were you?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I'll look through my itinerary and make some recommendations if you need
Oh
them.
yeah, no,
But,
I'll
yeah.
take them.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
about Portugal?
Stacia has been there before, to both places before, and has started to pull things together. But if you got something you loved, I definitely would like to hear it. And Portugal is Lisbon and Porto, and then we'll also have a car for part of it. So we'll hit the wine country a little bit. And
If you're interested, I have a friend who does photo tours out in Porto. He lives there.
Oh.
So I can send you his information if you
Sure. I
if
don't
you
know if she'll
have
want to do
time.
that, but
Yeah.
we might split up for a day too. So
That's usually
that's not always a
how
bad
we
thing.
approach our trips.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dawn, I posted a few more photos in the Facebook page, including the re-drip.
Oh, okay. Where is Alex Baker? Is she in Madrid?
Alex. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Alex is no, she's in Valencia. So,
Okay.
and then, if I had thought about that in advance, I might have booked things differently, or at least checked with her to see if she's
You'll have
available.
amazing time. Spain and Portugal are beautiful.
Yeah, I've never been to either country, so
I was trying to remember where. I was trying to remember where Savani lives at, but it doesn't say on her thing.
Shivani's in Germany.
Germany.
Yeah. And
I put it on the Mentor Facebook page.
we got friends in Porto too.
oh, yeah, we'll be in Porto for more days, like for like 5 days, although we had planned to just use it at that hotel as a base and be driving to, day trips away from Porto several of the days. But there's a lot, you could easily spend a couple months in Portugal if you wanted to, if you could afford to, and all that. And another couple of months in Spain would be easy to do.
Yep.
That's
So
not
this
happening
is-
here, but
I understand this is Michaela doing her rehab. Physical
Oh, you're
therapy
not
for
sharing
You're
yet.
not sharing the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go.
I wish.
I think you should take it a little bit easier on that hip. Okay.
You're never going to win the lawsuit doing stuff like this.
No,
They're going to
no,
catch
that's
Yeah,
you.
you
gonna
gotta
be
wait
a
till
real-
after.
be a
So
real
this is a
challenge.
fun show. It's called Stick a Pole in It. And it started 11 years ago as a one-night benefit. My friend Joanna Ross and her husband are comedians, and they knew a bunch of pole dancers. Not strippers, but actual like people who taught it as exercise and fitness. And they put this show together for one night, and now it's been running once a month for 11 years. This was their 11th year anniversary.
Wow.
I've seen a video of a petite girl sideways on a pole. Her body's out and she inches up the pole.
Yeah,
with
amazing.
and I'm like, those are some strong abs right there. Those
Yep.
are some seriously strong abs. Oh, I love the lighting up there. That's cool.
Yeah, there was men, there was women. It was just really fun.
Cool.
So
Really
I
cool.
told them I would post some on social media for them. So these are the ones that I liked.
Yeah.
Now, and you're using your iPhone for this?
Yeah.
Are you using the low light iPhone or the regular iPhone?
I just used the regular on my 15. Where's the low light setting?
It's
I'm learning
apparently,
everything about my phone
I think
today.
you have to I think you have to open up camera and change it to low light, but you should be able to get freeze this in the low light setting. Here, let me see if I can remember where it is.
Hmm. I'll just Google. Where is low light setting? Although I kind of like the motion blur.
Oh, it's now it's automatic. So it's you've got the new iPhone, so it's automatic now. So that's as
Okay.
good as it gets. Yeah, cool.
Well, it was pretty dark, so I'm just impressed with the. I mean, they're moving so fast that I'm not going to
Mhm.
get it completely tack sharp.
Doesn't
No,
have
it
to be.
doesn't have to be.
No, I
The
like it.
motion is, yeah, the
Motion
motion
is
is
motion.
part of the deal. Yeah.
But the lighting's so fun, the smoke. Unfortunately, I cut off his hand. That's unfortunate. And cut off her foot there, but
That is okay in my mind. The toe being
She's got a foot.
no, just great glutes.
Really cool. Really cool stuff. Neat.
Okay, and then I generated the drip. I put that in there too. The
Oh, you
next one
did?
down. I did. I did that right after class. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have put that one on the 52 page. I apologize.
Where are you? Okay, let's go back to that one.
Oh, did it not go in? Wait, did,
No,
That's interesting. What do you want?
We'll go back up. I think it
she
was right there.
generated a sharp drip. You want to try it again?
hold on. I'll post it right now on the you know what? I must have added it, but not um but not press post. Okay, here's the post. I did on the mentorship now, just so
Right?
sorry, making you go back and forth.
No problem.
Wait, didn't we just see it?
She probably got to reload the page.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Is this
Yep, that's it. So the bottom one was the one from class, and then that's the generated one.
yeah, so she couldn't get the drip because of the shutter speed. So that drip is generated in Photoshop.
And I cleaned up the underside a bit.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. How many tries for the drip?
First try.
First try.
I did
Yeah.
3 tries, but the first one was the best looking.
Yep. Can't beat that. Just can't
Yeah.
beat it. We were saying in the earlier class, you'll see me always railing against AI. I don't like it, but when we're doing work to help clients solve a problem, I'll use whatever I can. So that's what we do. You know? So yep. Cool. I'm
Nice,
glad you
I think that's a
yeah.
portfolio shot now.
Oh, definitely getting there. Why not? There it is. I had to refresh. Yeah, super good. Super good. All right, what's everybody got planned? We know Don's plans to go over and take photos in Europe. Europe.
Amazing.
Are you staying in one spot for a reason? I mean, you got guests, I mean, family or something there, Don, or are you just gonna really bear down on that
Mm.
one area?
No, we Stacia has been a couple of times and I never had, and it was something that we talked about for a couple of years, and so we just decided this was the time. And I just remembered that Alex was out there yesterday, and we booked a bunch of flights and whatnot. So maybe it's not out of the question that I change things, but a bunch of things have been set in place, so we'll see.
Sure.
But no, it's just what are the things you should experience if you've never experienced it? And the way both of us prefer to travel is maybe a little bit of it is planned. A little bit of it is, okay, look, we got to get tickets in advance to this thing and that thing, because there's a couple things we really want to go do. And like the cooking thing that you suggested, Stacia has booked a paella making class in Barcelona that she somehow knows about. But and then having, the rest of it, let the rhythm of the trip decide, so that you're not grocery shopping for all the things that you're supposed to see, kind of thing. So yeah, it'll be fairly open. It won't be a photography trip per se, but my little camera goes with me everywhere. So I'll be coming back with something. I don't know what it is yet, but something. Yeah, should be a good time. And apart from that, I'm trying to be accepted into a gallery group, photography group in the DC area. So I've been printing on different papers to see what I'll do with my portfolio submission. So I got to get that done. And there's one other thing that I needed to get done before we leave, but I can't remember offhand what it was. And now this one image needs to get fixed up for the magazine.
Cool. Who else? Who else planning something?
I'm
We're going to
going out
Italy.
west, but, well, go ahead, you started.
No.
In October, going kind of the southwest through Las Vegas to Death Valley to Joshua Tree, just a bunch of different areas, and ending in New Mexico.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I need to.
Send me
trip.
your sort of sketch, because I'm kind of familiar with this area.
Uh-huh.
I'll make sure that you know where some of the good stuff is.
Well,
on
it
your
is
trip.
somewhat of a planned trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody else has done the itinerary. But I'm working it in with a trip to visit my family in New Mexico. So, but yeah,
How fun. That'll be great. And when are you doing that?
it's in October, middle of
Oh.
October.
Beautiful. You'll have much better weather.
Yes. Won't be
Yes.
Death Valley at 113.
Well, yeah, you might be close to 113 in Death Valley.
Really, still?
Death Valley has their cool streaks in the winter are like 80. So and if you know what's really fun, Julie, is you can be in Death Valley and have it be 77 or 80 degrees, and all the mountains around are covered in snow.
Yeah.
Really cool. You won't experience snow, but you'll have a great time in October.
Yeah. Thanks. Looking forward to it.
All right. Okay, kids.
Michaela's raising her hand.
Yeah, I've got a
Oh.
gig coming up.
Oh,
So,
good.
A fellow headshot photographer had got called for 2 gigs on one day. So I'm doing her second one in New York. So it's the first time I'm getting paid. I've done volunteer things over COVID, something called 10,000 headshots, where we were doing free headshots to get people back in the workplace. But this is the first time I'm doing a group on site and getting paid for it. It's not a lot of money, but so I have to bring an assistant and I have to pay for the taxi there and back, etc. But by the end of the day, I'll probably clear like $1,100. So that's not too bad.
That's not bad.
Pay all my expenses.
No,
No.
I have a real estate one on Friday, and this is how tight the real estate listings are up here. If people are even looking to hire a photographer to do it, because a lot of it's just cell phone because they're moving so quick. This guy's the guy that was working with last year, and in August last year, he did a package with me because I needed some money and I saved him a couple $100. So we did a package of 400 or 4 houses for $200 each instead of 250, and that was in August. This is going to be the second one out of the 4 that I've shot for him. He's the one that even had me shoot the mobile home, so he's shooting everything. So he can't get listings because they're just not around long enough. So it's been trying to go after real estate for photography or drone or anything like that. It's damn near impossible right now because cell phone pictures are selling houses and the real estate agents know that. So he's having a hard time getting listings, so he wants to do a little extra on his listings. But yeah, the market's still so tight. It's just they'll snap some cell phone pictures. Half of them are bad. Some of them I've seen listed that will end up being marked as sold. They'll have like a couple pictures of the outside and a couple pictures of the inside. And it's not even like the full floor plan or anything like that. So, but he's
So the
got,
buyers are not American. They're probably,
oh no, it's tight. It's a combination of everything, but there's no houses. The house that we was in was bought by a local person um that we just moved out of, and it was a 2-bedroom house with a kitchen, living room area. It was an old 3-car garage that had been converted into a house. It was small, and the only good thing, it was sitting on 11 acres of land, but it was wetland, and they sold that for 400,000. You can't even really do anything with the land. I mean, you'd have to do a bunch of backfilling and drainage and stuff to use it for anything more than scenery. And they sold that for 400. So it's just, they're going that quick.
Mark, here in the West, that'd be 1,000,004.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought
Except
living out
that
in the West
he's got
would,
water though.
yeah, that's true. That's he could
Too
live
much of it.
there, where
Too much of
here
it.
those 11 acres would be pretty much rock, covered by rock with some more rock down below. We have to hire a special crew. They make a machine that will go through the backyard here, and it's like a farm implement. But it'll dig down 8 to 10 inches and get all the rocks out. And then they fill these bags with the rocks. So after they do our backyard, we'll probably have 4, maybe 3 tons, 4 tons of rock from this 1.5 acre backyard. Because the rock goes, they came out and did a thing. He said it's all rock, but what we get back is topsoil. I mean, we get good dirt that we can grow plants in, and we can put grass on. It's hard for the kids. We have a desert backyard, and it's tough. So, and once again, I close out the show by saying, no, they have not started the house yet. So, supposed to be under construction when we got back from Utah, but as you can plainly tell, something went askew apparently in the paperwork. But they're promising Monday. They're promising Monday. My question for him before he starts is I'm going to go out and ask him, because I can't reach him other than text. He's impossible on the phone. So text. I'm going to go out and ask him, say, well, it's been 8 months now since we were supposed to start, and inflation has done some serious damage to here. So is this still the same price we agreed on 8 months ago? Because if it's gone up another 8 or 9%, that's real money.
don't ask him. So you have a contract, hold him to the contract.
I do have a contract. Well, I gotta read that contract a little closer than I probably have.
Yeah,
So,
read it closer and don't ask him. Just remind him that
yeah.
it's in the contract.
Well, he did something nice. He did something nice. We have, we're building casita here on my daughter's land. Have our own space, and you can't do that you can't make it bigger than 1,200 square feet. And he got us up to 1,550. So he knows how to work the system, but you can't put a stove in it. So that's the kicker. You can't have a stove in it. So he said, don't worry about it. We're going to build the shelves, the cabinets, everything going to be there. And the moment they go sign off on it, we'll take the stove that we already have in the garage and bring it in and install it. And for some reason, they will only allow 1/3 of the front of the house to have a patio cover on it. You can only put a patio on 1/3 of the house. Now, you ask why people would do that? I have no idea why that's a thing. But once it's built and approved, you can put any porch on it you want. He did build that in. He said, once it's approved, we take the porch out all the way and you're good. So thank goodness. I mean,
Really.
but it is getting a little sad. We wanted to be in by Christmas, which we were promised, but I don't think there's any way in hell they're going to have this thing built by Christmas. So
It will be, just not this one.
yeah, I will remind my wife from a distance, I'll remind her.
They didn't tell you, they didn't tell you what year. They just said.
Come to think of it, Michaela, I'm not sure they mentioned the year or the decade for that matter.
Yeah.
So,
Don't go there. No, that's too early to go there.
Christmas. Sorry.
all right. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.